there is no escape, nor do we want it. We've come to thrive on it and each other. You can't get the adrenaline pumping without the terror, good people.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Christian Hanna Horror here. So look, we have talked about Scream Factory, we've talked about Arrow Video, we've talked about Synapse, we've talked about other companies, other boutique Blu-ray label companies, but one that I want to talk about today is Blue Underground. Now, this is a great company. This is a really great company. But I'm titling this one Blue Underground Titles because the fact of the matter is a lot of these that I'm showing you either have gotten a 4K release or are getting one. So I'm basically showing you titles that you need to get into if you are new to Blue Underground, the label specifically, and I'll obviously tell you if there's a 4K counterpart. So if you are a 4K physical media person, you can get that release. But if you're not, these are all extremely nice Blu-ray releases. So let's start with a bang. I think you can't really start at a better spot with Blue Underground than Maniac. Now, this is one of the greatest 80s horror movies, 80s slasher films I've ever seen. Maniac is more than meets the eye. This film will psychologically scar you on a level that not a lot of films will, and I do plan on reviewing this film soon. But this is a 4K restoration. Blue Underground, I think, is the leading leader in terms of restorations and doing movies the best visual way possible. Vinegar Syndrome's very, very close, but to me, Blue Underground is like the king. You don't beat them. They painstakingly fix everything, and I think that shows well through their releases. So this is the 3-disc limited edition for Maniac. You can still find these out and about, and they also have a 4K release of this. This movie is the selling point. Now, you've got great special features like audio commentaries with William Lustig, double audio commentaries. You got special makeup effects artists from Tom Savini talking on here. Joe Spinell's assistant Luke Walker talking on here. You've got outtakes, return of the scene of the crime with William Lustig, interviews, you name it. Special features are galore on this release. Now, this movie is a masterpiece, and I'm serious about that. So this is the best way to start with this label, if you haven't gotten into it yet, is Maniac. I just don't think you beat it. Next is a really interesting little film. It's kind of a anthology, but not really. It was supposed to be, but at the end of the day, George Romero and Dario Argento are the only two that were involved, but I can't deny loving this movie. That is Two Evil Eyes. So this, again, is a 3-disc limited edition from Blue Underground. This also is getting a 4K release, but if you're not 4K, again, this is a really nice DVD, Blu-ray release, 4K restoration from its original camera negative. So Blue Underground was already doing the best transfers possible for the 4Ks with these that they could do, but the 4Ks will obviously give it even a little bit more of a boost. But Two Evil Eyes is great. Now, this is a great movie that has two movies in one, a movie from George Romero and a movie from Dario Argento, and they are both fantastic. I love this so much. Two Evil Eyes is a really an underrated film, I think. I think this film is still growing its audience, and it's still finding people, and I think it's great. Now, again, these are chock full, and this comes with the CD too. These are chock full with special features, just chock full, more than I can even list off. So many. So Two Evil Eyes is another great way to get going into this label. So they've had a regular Blu-ray release, they've had this limited edition Blu-ray release, and a 4K is coming. I don't think it's out yet, but if you're not into 4K yet, I promise you this sucker right here is well worthy of your money. Next, let's get into probably one of the most underrated filmmakers ever. Still finding his audience, but he's big today in the world of horror, but still people are finding him. That is the great Lucio Fulci. Let's go with this. Another one that has gotten a 4K release, but if you're not, again, this is a great release. House by the Cemetery. I love this film. This is a very spooky, atmospheric film. Lucio really had identities with his movies. None of them really just felt exactly the same. He had a very clear vision of how he wanted his movies to feel, look, and sound. And House by the Cemetery is no exception. This film delivers on every front. This movie will give you nightmares. It's just got that atmosphere. It's got that really spooky atmosphere. Again, you've got 4K restoration from the original camera, uncut negative. More special features than you can shake a stick at. Commentaries, making ofs, interviews with the cast and crew, you name it. And all of these that I've shown so far, these 3-disc limited editions, the third disc is the soundtrack CD. So yeah, this is great. Again, this has a 4K release, so if you are 4K, grab that. If not, this thing will totally suffice. I'm really happy with these, so I haven't really jumped to the 4K on any of them yet. I may get one on 4K just to have one of them, but I'm really happy with these 3-disc Blu-ray releases. I mean, they look and sound amazing as is, and I'm just really happy with these. So House by the Cemetery, can't go wrong with that. Sticking with Lucio for this next one, I have to have this on here because it's, quite frankly, I think quintessential Italian horror and also the best one. I have to have his zombie on here. Now, the cool thing about this release, the 3-disc limited edition Blu-ray release, is there are 3 variants for the artwork, and the one with the bridge is still available on Amazon as we speak, and that's a great one to have. I think this is the personal best one. There's the ice pick one, this one, and the bridge. I like the zombie art. Again, 4K restoration from the original camera negative. Picture quality is insane. This has a 4K as well. More special features than you could shake a stick at. Again, so much on the second disc. Interviews, making ofs, everything. You name it, it's on here. If you haven't seen this movie, this is quintessential Italian horror. I'm notorious for saying I prefer this movie over Dawn of the Dead, even though I'm a huge George Romero fan. I just think Zombie hits it on the head for me with what I want from a movie called Zombie, which, quite frankly, I think that's what Dawn of the Dead was called overseas. That's why this is kind of Zombie 2 over there, but we call it Zombie here. Regardless, this movie, I love Dawn of the Dead, don't get me wrong, but this movie is everything to me. This is my perfect zombie film. So Lucio does it. This is his best work, in my opinion. It broke that seal and really crossed over, and I think for good reason. It's a legendary film. So this is an amazing way to start with the label. An amazing way to start with the label. And this also has a 4K, which this will probably be the one I'll grab a 4K of. And last but certainly not least, a 2-for-1. The Maniac Cop 2 and 3 releases. They did a great job with these. This is the Maniac Cop 2 and 3. These are great films. I love the Maniac Cops. I do think that 2 is the best one, which is a pretty common conception from a lot of people, and I'm there. I like Maniac Cop 3 a lot. It is somewhat of a step down from 2, but not in quality of the filmmaking and stuff. It's just the story isn't as pure as 2, but they tell a complete story, and I think that's amazing. You can't get 1 and 2 without 3. You have to get 3. 3 is still great. 3 has some amazing moments. I just think 2 was the pinnacle of the franchise. But these both look amazing. These also are getting 4Ks, okay? But if you're not a 4K person, these will do you just fine. These look and sound great. You can't beat these. Can't beat these. So I love these, the Maniac Cops. These are all from Blue Underground. This is a great label, guys, and this will be a good way. This is kind of like a 2-for-1. This was the 5th one, which makes 6, but you can't have 2 without 3. So if you're not into 4K, that's fine. Blue Underground is still taking care of you with really nice Blu-ray releases, and I think that these are the way to go. These 3-disc limited editions are absolutely fantastic. But again, the 4Ks are the 4Ks, so they speak for themselves. But these releases are just amazing. I love Blue Underground. They're a great company. But if you're going to get one, my personal opinion would be to go for the Zombie first. If you already have, say, Zombie, I would go to Maniac, and then, all of these are great. All of these are great, but Maniac is a great one. You just can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. So that's Blue Underground. That's an introduction for Blue Underground for a lot of you guys. I would love to know if you're a fan of this label, which titles you have. I have multiple Blue Underground titles. I just thought if you're new to this label, this is a great place to start. I wanted to share this video with you guys. Great company. I love Blue Underground. Can't wait to see what they do in the future. For now, this is Christian Hanna Horror. Please let me know your thoughts on that label and some recommendations as well for people in case that they have a lot of these already. Let's share our knowledge on this label. I would really appreciate that. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.